Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video, and I am really excited because today we're doing a Mercy Tiara 27 Days Scrappy Challenge. We haven't had one of these in a minute, and I haven't done a challenge layout in a minute, and I actually haven't been on Facebook too often, so I actually missed when this challenge was posted, and I only saw it when there was a reminder the day of the final day that it was ending. So I missed the challenge layout, but I still wanted to play along. So this is a this or that challenge. We had to either use a wood grain or a ledger as the background. We either had to use florals or bugs in our layers, and then we had to use either splatter or enamel dots as our embellishment. So right away I had to pull a wood grain. I went through the goodies my mom gave me for my birthday, and I pulled out this really beautiful wood grain plank and this awesome newspaper print. I thought they would look really cool together with some layers. As soon as I heard bugs, my brain went straight to P13, and I knew I still had some scraps from when I used this New Moon collection from my How to Kill a Kit with Style. I love P13, and I haven't bought any more since this kit that I got from Christina of Soulmate and New Moon. But I really wanted to do the bugs over the florals because I just knew I had some P13 bugs left over, and I really was drawn to try to get more of it used up. And I really think this collection lends itself well to a wood grain like this and the newspaper print and that more rustic kind of vibe. So I'm really excited. You can already see I pulled in my last three banners. I think I'm going to do a whole banner thing in the upper right hand corner to get those used up. I'm going to ink all my layers in this brown distress ink. That one's called Frayed Burlap. And I'm just going to start layering. I want there to be a lot of fun layers around my photo. I know I really only have tiny scraps from P13 left over, so when I kind of am down to that, I really like doing a lot of small layers around my photo just because I think it lends itself well to getting these smaller pieces used up. That piece there is actually a part of the packaging, but P13 I really appreciate. They do coordinating patterns on their packaging so you can use it. So I'm going to use that piece of packaging there as a layer, and you can just see I cut it in half and kind of tucked it on either side of the photo. You saw I used that newspaper print to mat the photo and did a torn detail on the top. I think the torn edge and that kind of torn details and twine and all that kind of rustic stuff looks really good with P13, so I wanted to keep that rolling. I also have some vellum from Ronnie, so I thought it would be cool to do a couple vellum layers using just some plain clear vellum. So I'm even inking that. I really like how vellum looks inked. So I'm just starting to build up my layers. You can see I already have a little layer with that bug print. It's supposed to be either or, so you're supposed to either use bugs or florals. My only bug paper, though, has florals on it, so we're just gonna not talk about that. Pretend they aren't there. But yeah, I was dying to do this challenge just because I found it so inspiring, especially with the goodies I knew I had to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and ink the banners too, just so those are ready to glue down when I kind of get to that point. I know I want the banners up there, but I'm not thinking too much about layer wise, like what I'm going to do with them. But I know there's going to be a banner up there, so I'm going to go ahead and glue it down, and then I will figure out finishing touches later. But I definitely want it there, and I think that looks really nice. I wanted to make sure, since there are moons on all of those banners, that they kind of go in order, so you can see the new moon, the waxing moon, and then the first quarter moon, I guess you'd call it. So I really like that. And this photo is from when me and Marcus voted. It took us 4 hours in line, and it was exhausting, so I felt like we earned our little voter sticker, and I definitely wanted to document it. We're kind of wearing our red, white, and blue, and I definitely thought with my mask being blue stars, my mom actually made that mask, I love it, but I thought it went with this collection with all the different blues, even though it's not really a patriotic page, even though the content kind of is. But that's just what the photos are that I'm documenting. I didn't really pick these products for the photo, more I picked these products for the challenge, and I really like how it turns out. So just adding more layers. I had another scrap of the bug print, so I decided to get another layer in there with the bug print. And then with having this dark blue sky pattern on these banners, I definitely wanted to introduce some dark blue patterns into these layers with the photo, because right now all the layers in the photo are looking really light, And I want to pull some of that dark blue in so that it's balanced, because right now there's a lot of dark layers on the top of the page with the banners and a lot of light layers over here with the photos. So I'm hoping to mix and match some of these patterns. I want to pull some of the lighter patterns from my photo up into the banner section later, and I want to pull some of that dark blue pattern from the banners down into the photo section. So hopefully by the end it looks balanced. But you can see I'm just trying to tuck that in. I have a little scrap of a sky print. I think there's another scrap of a solid dark blue from P13 that I'm going to add. I definitely want to incorporate some twine just because this is a more rustic, vintagey kind of collection, I guess you would say, or layout. And I definitely wanted something for these banners to hang from. So I thought right away that there would be twine running across the top of these banners, but since I have twine up there, I want to include some twine bundles around the photo just so that the twine is also balanced around the page. But I'm just going to start with having it up there with the banner. I'm just using some Tombow Mono Multi because that glue is really strong, and I know I don't have to worry about that twine moving once it dries. But I think that looks good. I think the twine and the wood grain look awesome, so I think it all goes together really nicely. But now I'm back with my photos. I'm trying to think which layers I do next. I definitely want to pull in some more blue layers. I like the introduction of that one piece, but I think it needs more. So I'm going through my little scrap pile that I have left that I found a scrap of this blue paper. So I decided I would kind of make that a vertical strip, add some more torn detail, and I'll ink that too, but I like that extra blue as well. And because it's kind of top and bottom, I have these two areas of blue, so I will go in with a third scrap of that same pattern and kind of tear an edge to go out of the right side of the photo, just so it kind of creates a visual triangle around my photograph. So you'll see that in a minute, but I'm getting that down. I like the addition of another torn detail. I think it looks really cool. And now I think I'm just going through my scraps to try to find one more. I definitely want to include our voter sticker. But the sticker itself is really flimsy, so I wanted to back it on something to make it a little bit more substantial. So I just stuck that sticker on a scrap piece of white, and then I'm using my circular hole punch to punch it out. But that way it's not a flimsy sticker, it's more substantial, and it's not gonna come unglued or anything because it's stuck down to a piece of paper now. But I think it's gonna be in the lower right hand corner of the photo. I think that looks nice. I know the colors kind of don't go with this collection because it's our Georgia peach, which is very orange, but I'm not going to think too much about it. I definitely want it on the page, so even though it doesn't go with my kind of products, I think it's okay. I think it's important to get it on there for the story, and I thought it would look really cool with a twine bundle behind it, so I'm just trying to get a twine bundle down. I'm just going to use my tiny attacher to staple that bundle just so it doesn't move, and then I will pop up my little sticker on some foam so it has some dimension, and stick that over where the staple is so you don't see the staple. I like that technique instead of having to mess around with trying to glue down this twine. And then I had a little bit more twine left over, so I decided to do the same thing in the upper left hand corner. And that way that twine is in 3 different places, and I think that adds a lot of texture. I really like that, so I'm kind of trying to figure out how I want that twine to lay. They're definitely messy twine bundles, but I really like that, so it's cool. I'm just going to glue that down, and I stapled that as well, but I think I'm trying to mess around with adding some extra glue tape because since I added the twine, that blue piece of paper wasn't wanting to stick to my other layers, so I was just adding more. And then because bugs were part of the challenge, I had 3 bug stickers left on the circular sticker sheet, so I'm popping those all up on some foam, and I just want to have 1 bug per banner, and I kind of want them to be scattered up there. I don't want them to look uniform. So I'm just going to have 1 bug per banner, but kind of scatter where they're placed so that they're not all in a line. But I think that looks really cool too, and I'm glad I got those bugs used up, especially because the bugs were like one of the 3 ingredients I had to have on this layout. So there we go. I like those, and now I don't know if I think I'm going to go ahead and stick them down. I like where they're placed. At this point, I'm not sure. At this point, I'm not thinking about adding more banners to this. I'm just thinking I will embellish the banners. But as I continue to go, I'm really liking all of the layers around my photo. And I just think that the banner looks really plain. So I end up going in and adding some more banners to the banner. And so I end up having to move these bugs a little bit. But at this point, I went ahead and stuck them down because I wasn't thinking I was going to do that. So, but there's that third piece of blue that I tore and added. I think that really helps create a visual triangle with the blue around the photo. That really helps with balancing. And now that that's done, I think my layers are done. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I'm really happy with where it sits in the lower left-hand corner. It's really the only place it can sit with that banner, so I'm okay committing with sticking it down. As I'm looking at it though, I kind of am missing one more good horizontal layer at the bottom of everything. I have this blue vertical strip going behind the layers, so I just wanted one layer to really run horizontally behind these layers. So I will go back and add that. But I don't realize it yet. I'm just kind of playing around with embellishment and what I want to do. To finish out this page, I have a couple stickers of word stickers I thought were really nice that came with this collection. So I'm adding one that says Dare to Dream. And I'm even tearing the sides of the sticker to go with the torn details that are on this page. Excuse me. And then I am adding one that says Be Free. So I think both of those work really well with the story, and I like what they add. So there's that. And then this is the last layer. I decided to go in with some more newspaper print and tear the bottom of it for some more texture. And again, I'm inking that, but I love this newspaper print. I think it looks so cool with the collection, so I just wanted to add more of it. And I think that last layer really rounds out all of these layers, so I love that. It looks really cool. Excuse me, got something in my throat. But I think that just finishes out those layers perfectly. I really like that. And then I'm going to trim off the extra twine because I know with that Tombow Mono Multi glue it's not budging, so I'm not worried about those ends. And then once I added in the extra newspaper for the photos, I was like, oh, it would look cool if I added some more newspaper up by the banners. So I go in with some vellum first because I have vellum incorporated into my photo layer. So I'm like, oh, it'd look really cool with this dark blue moon banner to add some layers of vellum banners. So I cut a bunch of them. I want them different widths, different lengths, but I want them smaller. And I just want them to kind of fill in the gaps where this moon banner is. So I'm going through and kind of cutting all the fishtails, and then I'll kind of stagger the lengths a little bit. But I thought that would look really cool added in with the blue banners that were already there, and just beef out that banner in general. So I'm inking all the edges again. I love inked vellum and it just kind of goes with the layers I already have in the photo. So I'm going to glue those down. I don't have any vellum glue, so I'm just using my glue tape but just keeping it along the top of the banner so it's as least distracting as possible. But once I have the banner down with the vellum, I'm like, okay, well, it's looking a lot better adding smaller banners. It's still looking kind of plain, and then that's where I decided to go in with some even smaller banners of the newspaper print. I think that newspaper print just fills it out perfectly, and the newspaper print I'm going to layer over some of these vellum pieces, so it'll help cover a little bit of that glue that you can see. But I don't find it too distracting just because it's at the very top of the banner, so I'm okay with it. But you can see a little bit of the glue kind of peeking through. But I think that already is looking a lot better. I'm just comparing it to the layers of my photos. Like, okay, how can I make this banner match my photo layers better? And that's when I was like, yeah, I need some newspaper print for sure. I'm going to trim off the banners that are overhanging the edges, and then you'll see me go in with a scrap of newspaper. And I think it looks so cool. I love doing these banner designs. I always have so much fun with them. They always turn out so layery, and I just could look at them and forever, and they're just so much fun. And I don't do them all that often, but I was excited to have an opportunity to do it on this layout. So I'm going to trim up my little newspaper banners. I think I'm only doing 4 of these, but again, and I think they're all the same width, but I have them at different lengths. So I'm just going to layer those up in between everything as well. And I'm inking those too, obviously. I was really good about inking everything, I think, on this layout, other than, I think the only thing I decided not to ink were the circular bug stickers, and I'm cool with that. But so far, I am following the recipe. I have my wood grain background. I have my bugs in my layers, and the last thing I need to do is finish out with either splatter or enamel dots. So I went through my enamel dots and I was looking for like some navy blue. I wanted some navy blue to kind of go with this starry theme of a lot of these papers, but I didn't really have any that were dark blue. So I did find some like glittery white enamel shapes, and I was like, you know what, there's some white layers in here, I could use a little sparkle, so I decided to go in with those instead. So I have two little glittery hearts, and then I'm just pairing those with a couple of the dots, and then I'm going to sprinkle a couple dots up in my banner section too, just so that kind of texture and sparkle is balanced across the page as well. But those are really fun. I like how those add a finishing touch. But that's pretty much it. So you'll see close-ups in a little bit. I am so excited to see another Mercy Tiara challenge. I really hope we kind of keep doing them every month. I know Tracy's really busy, so we haven't been able to really do them. But it sounded like all the participants, there would be a randomly drawn winner and they would get to pick the challenge for the next month. So I'm hoping that means we're going to keep going with our challenges, because I miss doing challenges. And this one was a lot of fun and super inspiring. I kind of forgot how much I enjoyed doing challenges, because they really just like spark that inspiration in me to kind of do something different or grab specific products I haven't worked with in a while. And this is a prime example, so I really love it. I am just gonna write on a little piece of the blue paper 4 hours in line. I do want to document that we waited 4 hours in line. Everything else is pretty obvious with this page. We voted, our stickers are on there, so I didn't feel like I needed a title or anything. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next process video. Yeah, bye.